So here at Ali's World, everybody keeps asking me, how do I pick such great stocks every single month? Am I some sort of stock market genius? Perhaps. 98, 99, 100. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, I can't give away all of my secrets.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to Ali's World of Finance. In this quick video, not quick video, I keep saying that, it's not a quick video. This is gonna be probably a very long video, but in this video, we're going to talk about my 3 picks for the month of June. So a lot of other YouTubers beat me to it. I'm a little late, guys, I'm sorry. Some of them were actually posting their 3 picks or 4 picks or 5 picks, whatever it is. They were choosing their picks like weeks ago, so I'm a little late. I'm sorry, guys. This is gonna turn into Black Friday. I'm calling it now. It's gonna turn into Black Friday. Where like now we celebrate Black Friday on a Thursday. Well, next week I'm gonna be making my picks for December, so I'm gonna beat everybody to it. So, but no big deal. So I'm just a little late, but I apologize for that, guys. But anyway, here are my 3 picks. My 3 picks for June are Nintendo, AMD, and Disney. These are the ones that I'll be investing in the most in June. And right off the bat, I know that I'm gonna get a lot of dislikes for this because I know that there's a lot of people that hate AMD, a lot of people that probably don't really care about Disney, and I never really hear about anybody investing in Nintendo, even though it's my biggest stock and it's been doing very well for me. So maybe I won't get too much negative feedback for Nintendo, but I'm sure a lot of people will hate the fact that I'm still bullish on AMD and the fact that I'm still bullish on Disney. But I'm just gonna explain my reasoning. We can all have different opinions. I'm just gonna explain my reasoning why I still like those. And you can absolutely disagree. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm not telling you guys to invest in them. I'm just giving my opinion on why I happen to like them. But let's go ahead and get started here. And by the way, a couple times I may need like a drink of water, so I'll do a quick transition and we'll see if you guys can catch it. But I'm gonna try to edit it so that you guys can't catch it, but we'll see if you do. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So first pick we're gonna start with is Nintendo. So Nintendo, ticker symbol NTDOY. And the interesting thing about Nintendo is that it's not on Robinhood. So if, I know a lot of my subscribers are on Robinhood. I'm actually on Robinhood, but I also have an E-Trade account. So I have all of my Nintendo stock on E-Trade because it's just not offered on Robinhood because it comes over as a, I believe it's called an ADR stock, but it comes over and and so some platforms don't have it. Robinhood is one of the ones that doesn't have it. But anyway, so Nintendo stock's my favorite stock right now, and the reason why is because of the Nintendo Switch. So that is their newest gaming console. I've talked about it a lot of times. You guys are probably sick of hearing about it, so don't worry. I'm not gonna go over everything. I'm just gonna show you just a quick view of what it is. And this is a revolutionary gaming console because you can play on the go or you can set it down into a dock and it projects on your TV and then you have a home console gaming experience. So it's revolutionary in that sense. So as soon as I knew about that product, I immediately knew it was going to be a huge success and I started throwing money at it. And it's been giving me a nice return. I think when I first invested in it, I had around $4,000 of readily available money that I didn't need. And I always preach this to you guys. In my opinion, you should not invest with money that you actually need. So I had $4,000 that I didn't really need at the moment. It was just sitting in my savings account. So I threw it into Nintendo. And right now I'm trying to get up to around $6,000 thrown into Nintendo. So I'm still putting a little more into it. And so far I've gotten a profit of around $2,000. So it's been doing very well for me. And I really like Nintendo because for the last little while, last maybe couple weeks or so, every time I log into E-Trade, it looks like Nintendo's up like another $100 of profit for me. So it's a nice feeling waking up in the morning and I look at a stock and it's like, oh, another $100 of profit. That's like a great feeling. But, and that doesn't happen with all the stocks, but, and this is obviously a rare case where, not a super rare case, but a little bit of a rare case where I happen to catch a stock early And it was because I consider myself a gamer, so I play video games. I know a little bit about the gaming industry. I knew that the Nintendo Switch was coming. I knew about it. I knew what the console did, and I knew that it was going to be revolutionary. So I made a smart play on it and I threw money into it. So, you know, if you guys are in an industry where you use their products and things like that, then you can maybe have a better tell on what to invest in. But that's kind of what happened with me, and I got very lucky, and I've been making nice profit on it. So now the Nintendo Switch is selling. GameStop actually in their earnings call, they said that that the Nintendo Switch was selling faster than the Wii U. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Wii U, then the Wii. It was absolutely selling faster than the Wii U. The Wii U was a major failure, but the Wii was a major success for Nintendo, and it was, I believe it was their best-selling console. And when Nintendo had the Wii out, their stock was at around $78 to around, I guess around $80. Well, right now, Nintendo stock is at around $37. It's really high right now, but it's not even close to what it was when they had the Wii. And the Nintendo Switch has potential to sell more than the Wii. Now, will it sell more than the Wii? We don't know. We have to wait and see. I can't make that prediction, but so far, I think it's selling very well, and I'll give you the reasons why I think that it has a chance to reach the numbers of the Wii. I'm going to give you the reasons why, but we'll get to that in a second. But so far, leaks have come out that Nintendo is ramping up their production of the Nintendo Switch. They started with a figure of 8 million, so they were gonna produce 8 million Nintendo Switch consoles for the fiscal year. Well, it basically leaked out that they're ramping it up to 16 million, doubling their production, guys, doubling it. That's not a small thing. You do that if you're extremely confident in your product. And Nintendo has been very cautious because the Wii U, the previous console, was a major failure. So they've been very cautious. But doubling their production, that means that there are some major things coming that are going to really help it sell. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those things are. And then recently it got leaked out that they're ramping it up to 18 million. So they're adding another 2 million. These are not small numbers, guys. These are huge numbers. Okay, so it's been, and this is for the fiscal year. So March 2017 to March 2018, that's when the Nintendo Switch launched. That's the year that these figures refer to. Now, they've been selling so well that they've actually had to ship the Nintendo Switch by air. So not shipping it by ship, they're actually shipping it by air because it was in such high demand. If you guys go into the stores will get a couple Switch units every once in a while, and they sell out like that. They're just immediately sold out. And Amazon will get some, and they'll sell out in minutes. So good luck even trying to get one right now. They're hard to find, guys, because they're just selling out like crazy. Now, retail stores are actually benefiting from this, and you know that Amazon has just been running everybody out of business. You know, GameStop was reporting horrible numbers and was doing poorly. But GameStop in their last earnings call actually surprised a lot of people with their numbers, and they said in their earnings call that it's because of the Nintendo Switch. Best Buy, same thing, and they mentioned that it's because of the Nintendo Switch. Now, a lot of other, I don't know how to say this, but I guess a lot of other investors and things like that, nobody is really talking about this. Everybody's just kind of ignoring it, but it's a big deal, guys. GameStop and Best Buy coming out with great numbers, and it's because of the Nintendo Switch. So that's great for Nintendo stock. Now, okay, so now let's talk about the reasons why I think that Nintendo stock will continue to do well. So why am I still investing in it? Why do I think that it will still continue to do well? And again, this is just my opinion, but I'm going to explain to you why I have this opinion. So E3 is coming up. That's a major gaming event. It's coming on, it's going to be June 13 to June 15, and Nintendo is expected to announce a few games. Now, the biggest game that I'm looking for is Pokemon Stars. It's a rumor, okay? It has not been confirmed to even exist, but it's a heavy rumor that a lot of people are saying does exist. And if it does exist, it is going to absolutely crush numbers, guys. It will make the Switch sell like crazy. And if it does come out, I do think, in my opinion, that it will sell more than the Wii. And I do expect the Nintendo stock to go up close to those Wii numbers where it was at around, you know, 70 something dollars. Now, the Pokemon company actually just released their numbers, and I think it was literally like a day ago. They just released their numbers, And they basically said that their profit numbers were up 26 times in the US. 26 times. It was in the US, but 26 times, guys. That is huge, guys. That's huge. Now, a big reason why is Pokemon Go. I understand that, and that's on a cell phone. That is not on a Nintendo console. But a couple things about that. First of all, Nintendo actually has stock in the Pokemon Company. They actually own some of the share of the Pokemon Company. Pokemon Company is private, so you can't own stock in it, but they own some of it. So that's one thing, which is good for Nintendo. The second thing is, regardless if it's on a cell phone, who cares? The point is that everybody is crazy about Pokemon right now. In fact, the other Pokemon games that came out for the 3DS, those games were the I believe they were the best-selling Nintendo games in history. So, and those were on the 3DS. Now, what does this look like to you guys? It looks like a portable gaming console. What is the 3DS? A portable gaming console. It's the same thing, guys. So if it comes to the Nintendo Switch, and this will be the first time that you can dock that portable console and project it onto a television, the first time that you will have an actual mainline Pokemon game on your television. That would be huge. Everybody has been begging for that for years, guys. For so long, they've been begging for that. And the Pokemon Company has said many times that they won't do it, that they won't release a Pokemon game, a mainline game, unless the console is portable. Well, now the home console is portable, so now there's a chance for it. And the Pokemon Company even came out and said that they will make games for the Nintendo Switch. So if Pokemon Stars comes out for the Nintendo Switch, again, I think stock will go up massively. I would wait at that point. I would wait for that stock to go up a huge amount and then I would sell. But right now, I'm waiting to see what happens with Pokemon Stars. I need to hear that that game is coming out. I want to know what's going on with it. A couple things on that. Now, Pokemon games have not actually come out during E3 in history. They usually don't get announced at E3. So will we hear about it at E3? I'm not sure. The thing is that Pokemon games usually get announced, I believe, before E3, and E3 is almost here. So either Pokemon gets announced right before E3, which is very soon, or it gets announced at E3, or if it doesn't get announced at E3, then it would get announced at a Nintendo Direct, which is something that Nintendo does. It's like these treehouse events, that's what they call them, and they call them a Nintendo Direct, where they just have their own kind of little announcement direct to the consumer. And it's very possible for that to happen. So if Pokemon doesn't get announced at E3, it could still be possibly announced later in the year, and it probably will. But I'm hoping that it gets announced at E3, and I think that Nintendo would be likely to announce it at E3 because they've even said the president of, or how should I put this? The president of Nintendo for America, Nintendo of America, that division, he said that Nintendo will have a huge presence at E3 this year and will make some surprises. So that is why I'm expecting it to be at E3, but it may not be, but I'm hoping that it is. And there's also been some other, the Pokemon Company has been selling these like figurines and these like plush toys and stuff. Well, the catchphrase of those toys has been, it's a quote of, and it states, look up, it was like, look upon the stars, something like that. It was like, look upon the stars or look at the stars, something like that. Well, that very much hints to Pokemon Stars. That very much hints to that game being real. So I think it's real, and I think it's going to be coming. All right, moving on. I'm sorry, guys. I just went on a huge rant about Pokemon. I'm really sorry about that. But let's go ahead and move on. Now, some other games that could be announced at E3. Super Smash Brothers. There was actually recently a leak of some pictures of a Super Smash Brothers games, a Super Smash Brothers game for the Nintendo Switch. However, those leaks basically got thrown out because a lot of reputable sources said that they were fake. But that doesn't mean that Super Smash Brothers isn't coming at E3. It could still very well be coming to E3. Could be very much a situation like they did with Mario Kart, where they ported over last gen's console game of Mario Kart. They ported it over to this generation, and they just basically branded it as Mario Kart Deluxe, and they just added all of the DLC and all that kind of stuff. And the reason they did that is because the last generation console, the Wii U, was a major failure. So a lot of people didn't even have the Wii U. So it didn't really matter. So they could just port over the game. A lot of people didn't even play it before. And it sold absolutely crazy. It released in April and it was just at the top of the charts. It's been at the top of the charts. It's been selling like crazy. So they could do a Super Smash Bros. Deluxe, things like that. That would sell very well. There's also been a lot of hints towards a Metroid game, and that's something that a lot of Nintendo fans have been asking for. So if that comes out, that should sell very well. And then the Virtual Console is one of the biggest things that I'm looking for. And the Virtual Console is something that Nintendo does with their console, their gaming console, where they let you play super old games. So think about the Nintendo Classic, think about the Super Nintendo, think about the Nintendo 64. All of those games, a lot of those games can be played on the Nintendo Switch through the Virtual Console. And everybody thinks that the Virtual Console is coming out. It's practically almost confirmed. However, we don't know when it's going to come out. So we're still kind of waiting for an official announcement. But the Virtual Console has been on pretty much all of the recent generation consoles. So it should pretty much be on this one. All right, so because of those reasons, that's why I think that Nintendo has been ramping up production, because they know that these things are coming and it's gonna just drive up stock and sell the Nintendo Switch like crazy. So that's why I'm so bullish on Nintendo. I hope you guys can understand that. I can understand like my viewpoint. So now let's talk about, just really quick to finish off with Nintendo, let's talk about some of the numbers that I got from MarketWatch.com. So for the week, Nintendo stock is up 6.41%. For the month, up 19.77%. Last 3 months, up 46.51%. And year to date, up 45.78%. And in 1 year's time, up 107.69%. So green across the board, it's been doing very well. And I don't really see it slowing down too much going forward. Now, their 52-week low was at $16, around $16. 52-week high was around $38, $38.39, and this was actually recent. I think this was like yesterday. So they actually just hit that 52-week high. Now the stock came back down just a little bit, and it came down to $37.83 as of May 31st. So I'm recording this video on May 31st. It will be uploaded on June 1st. So you guys will be seeing this actually in June. All right. So that's it with Nintendo. Now we're going to talk about AMD stock. And when looking at AMD, some of the reasons why I like AMD so much is because of their newest products that have come out and that are still coming out. And they're going to really help AMD stock. Now, in their last earnings call, their stock went down a lot. But people were expecting great numbers from them when these other products haven't even come out yet. And these products are pretty big, guys. So I'm going to break down these different products that are coming out. And we're also going to look a little bit at the competition and see what's going on. By the way, I talked a lot about Nintendo because it's my favorite stock, so I tend to ramble on. But I'll be quicker on AMD and Disney, so don't worry. It shouldn't be a humongous video, but I'll be quicker. So with AMD, let's start with their APUs. So if you don't know what an APU is, it's just an accelerated processing unit. All it is that they bring a CPU and a GPU and they put them together into a single chip. And a CPU is like the brains of the computer. It's a central processing unit. And then the GPU is for the graphics, handles all the graphic stuff. Well, Raven Ridge, their newest Ryzen APUs that have been announced, they're going to be for the premium mobile market. 2-in-1, they're going to be in 2-in-1s, they're going to be in gaming notebooks, and they're going to be in ultra portable devices. And versus current AMD APUs, so versus the older ones, they're going to have 50% better performance in the CPU workloads, 40% better performance in graphics, and they're going to use half the power. So great performance there, great numbers from their newest APUs that are going to be coming out. Now, they also have the Ryzen 3, 5, and 7 to compete with Intel Core i3, i5, i7. They'll be a lot cheaper. And the Ryzen 3 hasn't come out yet. That should be coming out in 2017, later this year, but it should be coming out very soon. And that's going to really help AMD stock as well, because it's going to be priced very affordably and it should do very well. And the other Ryzen chips, they've gotten great reviews. So everything is going pretty well there. Now, the Ryzen Threadripper is going to be their biggest premium chip, and that's going to have 16 cores and 32 threads. So up to 16 cores and up to 32 threads. So it's going to be massive, guys. It's going to be a really good chip. However, the problem, and I mentioned this in a previous video, that Intel is coming out with an Intel Core i9. It's called a 7980XE processor, and it's gonna have up to 18 cores, guys. Massive. Like their last one was, I believe it was, what was it, 12 cores, right? Was it 12 cores or 10 cores? I can't remember, but I think it was 10 cores. And now this one is 18 cores, so it's like they made a huge jump. So it's kind of like Intel is coming out and like body checking AMD and just saying like, no, you're not gonna like take our premium market, because they're coming out with this huge CPU. However, the price for the Intel Core i9 is gonna be $2,000. That is a very high price tag, guys. So there's still some hope there. If AMD comes out, we don't know what the price for the AMD Threadripper will be. If the AMD Ryzen Threadripper, if that one's like $1,000, then it's like a no-brainer. It's gonna like, it'll probably crush Intel. However, if the AMD price is very high and it's, you know, somewhere similar to Intel, or if they do a benchmark test and Intel is like massively more powerful than AMD or something like that, which I don't really see happening, then in those situations, Intel could beat AMD a lot. But at $2,000, that is very expensive, guys. So I still think that the Threadripper will still do very well, especially if it's priced competitively. But that's what's really going to factor in, is going to be the price with a lot of these things, to be honest. But now let's talk about their Vega GPUs. Their Frontier Vega GPU, that one outperformed NVIDIA's P100 GPU by 30%, and that's like their flagship GPU. I believe it was the most powerful GPU on the market, and it outperformed it by 30%. So great there. The Pro Vega SSG, that one is the solid state graphics Pro Vega GPU. And that one is gonna be, it has this technology, it can go from 16 gigabytes of memory to 2 terabytes when you turn on the SSG, and it can make things run buttery smooth. So it's really good for huge data amounts. So it's gonna be really good for that. So that one should be a big success as well. And then we've got the Epic, which may be my favorite, but the Epic, they bridge 4 Ryzen 8 core dies using AMD Infinity Fabric technology to basically make it up to 32 cores and 64 threads. So massive, guys. And there's gonna be more iterations to come. And this is for the data center. This is for like the server market, which is great because AMD was like non-existent. So they can take up so much market share there. So this is huge, guys. And they have 45% more cores, 122% more bandwidth versus the competition. So it's great numbers. And like I said, they're going to keep working on it. So that was a big thing, that they said that they're going to keep making more iterations to come. So that's really good. So it looks like they're going to be very competitive in the server market. Excuse me. So now, last thing, we'll just cover the market watch numbers really quick. For the week, they are up, AMD is up 1.91%. For the month, they are up 10.79%. But the last 3 months, they're down 19.5%. So in the last 3 months, down a lot, and that's basically from that last earnings call, which like really hurt them. And then year to date, they're down 1.32%. And then in 1 year's time, they're still up a massive 163.92%. So they have had a little bit of a dip there in terms of looking at the last 3 months. They've gone down almost 20%. So that's good if you'd want to invest in AMD. If you want to, I'm not telling you to, but their 52-week low number was at $4.07. Their 52-week high was at $15.55. And as of today, on May 31st, they are at $11.19. So their stock had taken a pretty big dip there, but it did bounce back a little bit there. So now it looks like it's bounced back a little bit. It's a little volatile right now. It could go up and down. I can't really predict too much with AMD. I would like to buy a lot more stock in it if it were to dip down a little more. I wish it would dip down a little more. But these products that are coming out, I really believe that towards the end of the year, these products are going to come out. They're going to really help their numbers, hopefully come up to profitability and things like that. And the stock, I see it solidifying. I see it being a lot less volatile, and I see it starting to increase as they take market share from Intel and from NVIDIA. So there's a lot of market share that they can steal. They don't have to beat them. They just need to steal some of that market share. So, and I think that they will. These products are pretty amazing. Okay, so that's it with AMD. Now let's transition to Disney stock. And so when we look at Disney stock, a lot of people are bearish on Disney, and maybe rightfully so because they do have some concerns. But I'm going to talk about those concerns. I'm going to explain why I think they may be a little exaggerated, and we're going to look at a lot of the positives that Disney has going forward. And I see them as a little bit more of a longer term play, but there's a lot of really good things for Disney, and I'm going to talk about them. So before I ramble on, let's just go ahead and get started. So when looking at Disney, their cable side and their broadcasting and ESPN, that's the major thing that a lot of people are complaining about. Well, their cable side of the business, the operating income was down. They just had their last earnings call and operating income was down. ESPN operating income was down. Revenue, total revenue for the entire Disney company, they did not meet expectations. So that was another negative. ESPN operating cost was up, which is a bad thing. However, there are some positives. In fact, ESPN's advertising revenue was actually up. They're still transitioning from traditional methods like television, cable, broadcasting, things like that. They're transitioning to the mobile market digital methods. And that's really where they should be with the ESPN app. They really need to get into the mobile market and stream their games and stream their content. So that's really what they're focusing on. And they think that in the long run, that will offset their losses and start to make them a lot more profit, which is a good thing. And I think that the mobile market is growing, so that's where they should be. Now, a lot of people that are bearish on Disney, they complain that Disney has a lot of competitors, and Facebook is coming out against ESPN because Facebook wants to broadcast a lot of games. And a lot of people see this as a bad thing, but I actually think it's a good thing, because if other companies are trying to imitate ESPN, that means that ESPN is probably doing something right. And a lot of people that are bullish on Disney say the same thing. And nobody is better positioned than ESPN to be in the sporting market, because ESPN already has long-term sports contracts. Anytime that you see a sporting event being broadcasted or games, they're usually on ESPN or they're on ABC, both owned by Disney, right? So they're already positioned to continue to do well, and I think that they will beat their competition. Now, their media and networks division overall, despite these other issues that they're having with ESPN and stuff like that, overall, they still beat operating income expectations. Their studio division still beat operating income expectations, and they have Beauty and the Beast, which is a huge success. They have the Frozen franchise, which is a huge success. They have Marvel, which has all these Marvel movies, billion-dollar movies, all the Avengers, Black Panther coming out, Spider-Man coming out, Thor coming out, and all the other Avengers movies, the Infinity War. So they have all this great Marvel content, and a lot of stuff on Netflix. We have the Defenders coming out soon, which is gonna have like Luke Cage, Iron Fist, the girl, I always blank, Jessica Jones. What's the last one? Daredevil. Daredevil. How could I forget about, that's the best one, Daredevil. And so it's gonna have all those. So they're doing a lot of really good stuff in Netflix. They have the Star Wars franchise, which is huge, guys, and I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, but the next Star Wars movie is The Last Jedi. You know people are going to see that title, The Last Jedi, and they're just going to go watch it. And it's going to have Luke Skywalker in it a lot more, so that's going to be huge. And there's rumors of Star Wars content coming to Netflix, so a lot of really good stuff there. Their Parks and Resorts division also beat expectations for operating income. They have Disneyland in California, here in California. They have the Disney World Resort in Florida. They have the Aulani Spawn Resort in Hawaii. They have the Shanghai Disney Resort, and they have other Disney theme parks and resorts across the world. So a lot of really good stuff there, a lot of money coming in. And Consumer and Interactive division, they also beat operating income expectations. So let's wrap it up here with the Market Watch numbers. For the week, Disney is up 0.62%. For the month, down 2.91%, which is kind of hurting me because that's sort of around the time that I bought some Disney stock. But I kind of see this as a little bit of a dip to hopefully get some more stock here. And the last 3 months, down 2.4%. Year to date, up 3.57%. And in 1 year's time, up almost 10% at 9.34. Now, 52-week low was at $90.31. 52-week high was at $116.10. And as of today, they are at $108.30. So anyway, those are the three stocks. Those are my picks. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And As always, if you want to support me, all you have to do is drop a like and leave a nice comment. Nothing, there's no better feeling than when I have a nice comment. I look at those and it just kind of makes my day. So I really appreciate all the nice stuff that you guys say. So thank you. And by the way, and I just want to give a quick shout out to all the other YouTubers that talk about stocks and stuff. I'm not as good as them, but they're all really nice people. So I just want to say this is a quick shout out to them. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, beautiful day. Take care.